Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Or whatever time you're joining me. Might not be in the morning. So this is your reading for Monday, September 2nd, Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. It's probably one of the major Mondays that people really love, it being Monday, right? Usually we dread Mondays. I don't. Mondays tend to be much lighter for me because I work on the weekends. Anyway, if these cards don't relate to you for today, just know that it's a lesson in the meanings. And I love your comments. Okay, we have the Strength card reversed. Seven of Pentacles reversed, and the Page of Cups upright. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? This makes perfect sense for a holiday. Thinking it through, it makes perfect sense. In the morning, we're feeling kind of weak, maybe in a little self-doubt at the worst. Like maybe you're fighting, you're battling with your body, and you're like, damn it, why am I so tired? Oh, right? And you don't feel like persevering. You don't feel like getting in your time invested in anything. And maybe all you want to do is just be like a teenager that watches TV and Netflix and streams and whatever all day. You know what? It's a holiday. Do what you want if you can, if you absolutely can. And especially, I was talking to Lisa about this the other last Saturday before we went live. I was telling her, oh, I'm so tired. And she's like, everybody's tired. Everyone she was talking to and everyone at work, everyone's tired. And I started feeling like, because I remember a long time ago, Debbie over at Freebird Spirit, she said, this was years ago. She said, I think it was like 2020 or so. She said, we're all under post-traumatic Trump disorder. So what came through for me, and I'll just say this and then upload this because I can't really make any heads or tails out of it meaning anything else. But a message from Spirit, a message as to our emotional bodies that tells us that we've been under an inordinate amount of stress, just too much stress for too long. And I remember when I was in healing school, I learned that it's the real stresses, the real post-traumatic stress disorders come from that little bit of, like imagine living in Ukraine where you've got bombs going off every day and you start to get used to it and it becomes normal. That is shock and it's stress to your nervous system, but you stifle it down and you don't do anything about it because maybe you're a child and you can't do anything about it. And if we grew up in childhood homes like that, where there were bombs going off, like your parents were fighting, or one of your parents was always complaining, or one parent wasn't there and the other one was abusive, or your parents maybe had an abusive dad that beat up the mom, and you're a boy and growing up to be a man, and then you start feeling guilty that you couldn't protect your mother. I mean, that's stress, that is long-term PTSD that is so much more challenging to heal. Not that anything can't be healed, because anything can. The physical level may not always heal, but like from a car accident or something like that, but the emotional body and the neuropathy and the neurological, the nervous system, it can all heal. It just takes a long time. But the way it goes is you have to, accept what you went through and process it all through. And then the life force will come back. Then that real strength will come back. And then the resiliency would come in. That would be turning the Strength card and the Seven of Pentacles upright. But what usually happens is that because it happened every day, we doubt ourselves as to what we really endured, what we really went through. But the truth is it's the daily stresses like whether it's at home or with work or both. Usually it's both. That pattern has to be broken before you can, before real healing can even begin. It's usually, it's like, imagine you had a really happy childhood and you have everything's great, but then you get into a bad car accident, or you go through, like we all went through, remember when we all went through the recession? They call it the Great Recession. When I hear it, think of the word great, I always think of depression, but this was recession. We all went through that, so nobody took it personally. And we realized, oh, well, the banks really screwed up there, and new laws need to be created, and they were, thanks to Elizabeth Warren and many others. Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, thank you very much. and they worked together as well. In fact, I think Kamala was one of her students, one of Elizabeth Warren's students. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I thought I remember reading that. But so anyway, when you have one of those big, now even though that one probably is a bad example because it did go on for such a long time, it was traumatic for a long time. But let's use the analogy of like somebody in your family getting really sick, or losing someone in your family, or a car accident. Those are one-time things. And they don't get to your the core strength of who you are, like the daily PTSDs of growing up in an abusive childhood or a stressful home. And maybe it wasn't abusive, but it's just that your parents were neglectful because they couldn't be there. But then again, neglect is a form of abuse. But if you're a mom that just lost the dad, maybe he died, she's not trying to abuse you if she goes and takes care of 3 jobs at once, or 3 jobs in a row, and you're a latchkey kid all by yourself at home. She's just doing the best she can, and you guys are all going through a terrible, traumatic, experience. So that's what these cards speak to me about. So maybe there's time today to think about those things, because it is a holiday, and I kind of like seeing the lack of energy, because I know you're going to stay home, you won't be out on the road, and that way you'll be safe. And healing is coming. The Page of Cups upright is all about emotional healing, and especially healing adolescence and those teenage years. Well, any all the way up to 30, I would say, with the Page of Cups. The Knight of Cups to me, well, that could be 20s to 30s with the knights, all the knights. The age is a little challenging sometimes. So, yeah, that's all I have. Okay, take good care. Bye.